my favorite, probably my favorite progression of all time. We'll use the MedBall, will go into this net, and all I want you to get a feel for is one direction, okay? So when I say direction, I want your lower half, your legs, your feet, all going towards the target, right? So a linear direction. It's gonna feel unstable, right? Because your body's gonna protect against that, because you're probably not gonna be balanced here. So make sure you're putting a big emphasis on keeping that lead foot towards the net. Back foot, now this is where it gets real into hip rotation, because our back foot's gonna be off because we want this rear hip into rotation. Okay, so your issue when I last screened you was that this hip, so our rear hip and our shoulder, they were moving together, meaning we're limiting ourselves on the amount of stretch, separation we can get. So if with this progression, we're gonna stay anchored down with the front foot, rear hip into rotation, we're gonna squish the bug back here, and we're just gonna increase the amount of stretch we can get without sacrificing rear hip, and then we're gonna go boom here, back, and forward.
Okay.
Okay?
So we keep that hip back, or?
All I'm really focusing on for you is the direction, first and foremost, so your setup, right? And then two, I want this rear hip, so you can feel like the hip bone, I want that to stay into rotation. So the way that you're gonna do that is you're gonna squish the bug, okay? Boom. So now that that's into rotation, this is where I would like you to be at like a 45-degree angle right here when you come down to front foot strike when you're throwing, okay? Now, you're gonna get into like your chest pass kind of setup with your MedBall, and this is where your body is gonna start fighting these like instabilities.
Yeah.
Because this is a position that you haven't really been in a whole lot, but it's the position that we need to own. So
I keep that at the 45-degree angle?
Yeah, so you keep this, what I cue guys with is like continuously be pressing in with that toe, because that's gonna now force your hip to stay into rotation. Now you're gonna explore the amount of stretch you can create with your trunk, meaning you want your trunk to stay neutral, right? And your hips into rotation. So right here is you at neutral. Do you feel how much stretch you have right there? So now we go from this exploration kind of mode here to now like a little bit of rock back and express forward. Okay, good. Use it as a warm-up now. The biggest thing for me is like creating positions and patterns for you to be in, to just explore that type of sensation, right? Because like you can't get into those patterns in a throw if you've never been in them in a dry setting. Okay, I want you to disconnect that front foot, so rock back, and then now as soon as you come back down, then it's going forward. And now I want you to take that lead leg, or that rear leg, and finish your throw by almost pressing the ground.
Okay.
Yep, get into that same position, trunk more, counter rotated. Keep going. Yep, now rock back, disconnect the front foot and go. Beautiful. Knocked it over first try. Back foot, yep. Because again, what's your body gonna try to get back into? It's gonna get back into this kind of getting into the same position that your shoulder is in, right? So it's segmentation, right? You know what that means? So like this has to be going with this not going.
Okay.
So like your hips rotating without your trunk rotating with it. So that's what we're trying to create right now, is like your body's ability to get your lower half rotated and keep your upper half neutral to create stretch, right? Separation, okay? And then when you disconnect, your trunk is actually gonna counter rotate more, boom, like that. And then land and express forward. That's it, beautiful. The first thing that's gonna wanna happen. So as soon as you disconnect your front foot, right? Now all that's left in space is your rear foot, your rear leg, right? So then your body automatically is gonna fight that potential threat of like discomfort and instabilities. So it's gonna wanna organize back into that original pattern that you're in right now, which is a low power output pattern, and we wanna go against that. So we gotta make sure that as soon as we disconnect, that we almost press, and this will be the next progression, press that scap into more retraction. Does that make sense? So I'm gonna give you sensory input, line up like you were the exact same way. Good. Rear hip rotation. Get this swish bug, sir. Yep. Now, lift this guy. This goes to your boob, boom. Now I want you to take your elbow and press against my hand. Keep counter rotating. Keep coming. Yep.
Not move my hip?
Yeah, your hips stay. Now this is us exploring how much your body actually has as far as range of motion goes, okay? So now I know you're tired, but now as soon as you lift back and rock back and disconnect, this elbow is gonna push deeper into my hand, and then you're gonna go forward, okay? Go ahead when you're ready. That's it. Now I know it feels goofy, but what I need is like, you need sensory input to feel that movement, or else you can't really feel it through space, right? So your hips were in great positioning, and that's kind of all I'm really worried about for you, is just getting this guy stay rotated. But I want it like this, and then as soon as you rock back, you're gonna feel that input of my hand, and then boom, you're gonna get deeper, because as soon as you get deeper, now you can like build up this rotational energy, and then as soon as you anchor down, release it forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Okay.